It's time for Polite Fight. I'm John Teti, your editor-in-chief, and this is Gus Spelman, and this is the show where we politely fight. Sometimes we don't even fight. We just want to talk about Fargo and look at some particular shots and scenes and break down the filmmaking of Fargo. That's what the show is about, right? So I think we have another comment from the weekly review to kick off today's discussion.
Yeah, so Ian McShane's stash noted that in the scene where Hahnzee goes to visit the Waffle Hut, Hahnzee's watch, the time on Hahnzee's watch changes from the time that he notices on the clock in the Waffle Hut itself. Which I did not catch. You said that you caught.
I did see this, and what I noticed is it's 7:07 when he's in the Waffle Hut. Then he comes out, and we have the lens flare that by now indicates some sort of alien presence. And we see the shadows of the trees going across, and then it's 9:07, so 2 hours exactly elapse.
But you wanted to talk also about the way that time is working in general in this scene, apart from the alien moment.
Yes, well, we have all these split screens, and you and I talked about the split screens on the first Polite Fight, right?
Episode 1.
The premiere, wow, way back when. Well, let's talk about the flashbacks, okay? And I think this is the first time we've seen the device used this way.
Where you see like just flashes of what happened
happened there. And what do you make of that?
I mean, I think that it goes to show how he just has like a very complete picture of everything that's happened, how quickly he notices things. And I think it's a good counterpoint to the split screen of evidence finding that Lou has in the first episode, where it's just one, it happens very slowly. As you noted when we talked about it, the perspective doesn't change that much. Here, Hahnzee's seeing everything all at once. He's getting so many different details. Like, it just shows me how much more actively observant and how much better a detective this guy is than Lou.
I did not read it that way, but that's interesting, and I think that makes sense to me, that he's sensing things in a different way than the sort of straightforward, logical way that Lou is encountering the scene.
I don't even know if it's not. I think it's still logical. I think he's just doing it so much faster.
Okay, that is not how I read it, but that's very compelling, the way you're talking about it. Let me just say the way I was looking at it. Which is, and this is a theory I encountered, someone tweeted at me on Twitter, and they said, where else would they tweet at me? I don't know. And they said, what do you make of this idea that the split screens represent the alien's perspective? You know, it stuck with me, and so I kind of looked at this scene like, maybe we're seeing this alien presence kind of observing Hahnzee, and we're seeing their sort of stack of knowledge being played out in these split screens. And I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at it, but after hearing what you said, that makes more sense to me, and that offers more insight into the character, I think. But can I talk about one very specific element of these right here, when Hahnzee squats down to get this bit of evidence? The time is just slightly out of sync.
Let me watch this again.
Yeah. You see Hahnzee sort of flick some snow off the fragment of headlight, and it happens in one side of the split screen shot a little earlier than the other. And I don't know if there's a deep meaning to draw out of this. I think it's more of an aesthetic thing. It just starts to make you feel like a little out of sync. You know, they disorient the viewer to set up Hahnzee's disorientation.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if maybe it just sort of sets up a little bit like, you don't really notice. You can see even this guy, very observant, doesn't notice the passage of time that specifically. So it makes sense that when there's this jump, he doesn't like make that big of a deal about it. That's the most that I could really use evidence to point to without getting into speculating what the aliens are going to be all about.
Well, what's the point? We still have so little, but it's just it's just a little, but they've given something in the mix, right?
They've given us more now, because now you see, like, really, they do have a physical effect.
We've seen
on the passage of time.
Tangible
you can
evidence.
See the shadows moving, so there's clearly physical evidence. All right, well, enough about UFOs.
Oh my God, we have yammered on enough about these aliens. What do you want to look at next?
Okay, so let's talk about another element of the show that's pretty mysterious, and that involves, I think, a lot of speculation on the point of the viewer. It's something that the show is inviting you to speculate about, which is Peggy. And something that was talked about a lot after the first episode, like, does this woman have a motive? Does she have a secret motive we don't know about? Is she just sort of like always flying by the seat of her pants?
I think that what defines Peggy is her urge for an absence of a story to be played out in front of her. She bristles when Ed talks to her about here's how our life is going to play out, and she lights up a little bit when Constance says to her, nobody's going to tell you how to live your life anymore, right?
See, I think, I can see that, but that could also be because she has a motive we just don't know about yet.
See, I find that less interesting. I find
because it's like cheating that we wouldn't.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, she has a secret. That's the easiest thing in the world. I feel like in this one shot of the two of them in the mirror, which I love, it's almost like Constance has this like gravity that's absorbing Peggy into her, right? The closing shot of that scene, it's just a great moment by Kirsten Dunst where you can almost see all the stuff going through her head, thinking about Ed and how she's basically ruining his life, but thinking about the potential for something new, something unexpected in her own life.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at Peggy, very carefully at Peggy's performance here. You're not getting this sense of like, this is what Peggy wants to hear necessarily. You're getting the sense that she has something else going on. And like, almost it's hard.
You are.
I'm getting the sense that she has something else going on. And I just think she's got a secret.
It's a
Aliens and Peggy, the jury's still out on both of those things.
Totally confounding. And can we bring up that one funny comment you found about the finger in the ass?
Callie cheese sucks, all one word. He noted that Mike in this episode obviously is not that into the finger in the butt, but how last season Malvo specifically talks to his fake wife when he's the dentist about how he likes the finger in the butt. Which is just like
what a thing to notice. Callie cheese sucks. I love it. Well, we'll be back next week, hopefully to see what new secrets Fargo unfolds for us. For Gus Spelman, I'm John Teti. Thanks for watching Polite Fight. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Wave. You're not gonna wave?
Sorry, this one went up late. You guys.